posting naked or almost naked pictures online to show how confident we are. And in all the comments, other women will be like, "You are so brave." Well, I really just think that means not a model. Also, it's not brave. There's no soldier looking down at that picture being like, "Oh, what a brave lady." You know, a man posts a naked picture, he just loses custody of his kids. And if showing your weird body's brave, then the guy that masturbated in front of me on the subway is very brave. Because he had a real weird body. And he was making weird faces. He might be the bravest man I know. But that's the thing, we're supposed to care so much about our bodies as women, you know? And there's even campaigns that we should love our bodies and be confident in our bodies. Or we could just stop caring about it. Because you know who doesn't care about their bodies? Men. You know what men are? Successful. Men are presidents, men are CEOs. You've never heard a CEO go, "I want to get profits up and keep costs down and love me for me." 3 p.m. we're going to have a meeting about how I can accept the fact that I have my mother's thighs. You know who should care about their bodies? Men. You have weird bodies, men. You're gross. Your balls are gross. I've never seen a guy be like, "Oh, I can't wait to get his pants off and see that weird bag of stuff between his legs." What is it? It's like when you go to a haunted house and you stick your hand in a jar, you're like, "Please be grapes." Balls seem like a real god whoopsie. It's like when you're putting together furniture and you got a couple leftover screws and you're like, "Well, those were supposed to go somewhere. I guess I'll hang them from a satchel." Even the name sounds like a mistake. What are you gonna call him? Scrotum. Okay. This is how you knew God didn't care about balls at all. Everything else important, he covered in bone. Balls, he was like, "Let them fly." You are so lucky we get our faces near them. If a woman puts your balls in her mouth, you should pay her a lot of money. And not in like a prostitute way, and like I don't know how else to say thank you. This is a very nice thing you just did to me. And you didn't get any pleasure out of it. There's not a single woman that's like, "That's what does it for me." You were more of a saint than Mother Teresa for that. There's no way she ever did it. Career is over. I put paint on my face just to leave my home. And you guys get to walk around those wrinkly, dangly bags of crap. You should have to put makeup on them. At the very least, googly eyes. I don't know if that'd be better or worse, it'd be fun. He's happy, he's sad. He lost his boner. You guys get away with calling our boobs saggy. Your balls are saggy. You should wear a bra. And you make it fancy. All those women clapping, they meant yours.
Liverpool has a strange relationship with Manchester as well. Is anybody in from Liverpool? All right, thought we might have priced you out. Not to worry. I love Liverpool. It's a beautiful city. And I remember when I first went over there, I support Manchester City, right? That's my football team. And I remember going over there in my Manchester City shirt, and I stopped this bloke at the train station. I said, "Listen, mate, I'm a bit lost. I'm trying to find the docks. Can you help us out?" And he turned around and he went... Which is a word in Liverpool, right? Honestly, right? It means you're not welcome, right? You pick it up quick enough, right? Eventually he got to some sound, he went, "Hey!" Because they're naturally witty, they're born with that, right? He said, "What are you doing over there in Liverpool?" I love him. I do. Now, at that stage, you're tempted to say calm down, but that makes things worse, right? You don't like that. I was very brave, though. I looked in the eye, I said, "Listen, I asked you for directions, officer. You are bang out of order, mate." Keep it down with it. But football, you know, has that problem, doesn't it? There's a lot of cities hate each other just because of the football. You know, I support City, and obviously Manchester United is our nearest club. And we got any United fans in? Of course we have. We're in Hammersmith. There's always a United fan. Every gig I do, there's a United fan. They're like rats. You're only ever 3 metres away from one of the bastards. Everywhere you go. Everywhere you go is a red. I love football, but I'm getting to this stage where I'm starting to dislike footballers. I don't know if anyone else has this problem, right? But these like multi-millionaires running around the pitch, you know, every 5 minutes. I've hurt myself. There was a bloke a few weeks back, he missed 3 Premiership games with a dead leg, right? Now, that's not an injury, is it, a dead leg, right? When I was a kid, I had 3 dead legs in one day once, right? And that was for free. I still have to do PE and walk home. That's not an injury, mate. My granddad's favourite footballer was a German goalkeeper called Bert Trautmann, right? Now, in the 1956 FA Cup final, does anyone know what happened to old Bert? He broke his neck. Look at you like the quiz team. Bang, straight in, no messing about. Good work. He broke his neck and carried on playing, right? That's how hard they were in the 50s. The metatarsal, not even invented in 1956. He just got up, carried on diving about with a wobbly head, right? Not bothered. Not bothered. Not these days. It's the fans keep shouting nasty things at us. Hands me up. It's right, isn't it? And I'm there in the crowd watching, thinking, do you know what? You're on 60 grand a week. If I think you're a knobhead, I'll tell you, right? And that's the way it should work, because if I was on that sort of money, I'd take it as well. Do you know what I mean? I'd stay an extra half hour at the end of the game just to take it. You don't know, bed? Yeah, I don't know. See you next week, lads. God bless. Yeah. Your mum's a knobhead. Yeah, but you should see her house. See you later. Who's the winner?
You do a thing in the UK called pre-drinks. Pre-drinks, all right? Some people call it prinks, because they don't even have time to pronounce the whole word before they get on it, all right? Pre-drinks. I had no idea what it was. I had to ask my friend. I was like, Di, what the hell are pre-drinks? He said, Ignacio, it's great. We drink at home before we go out to go drinking. I said, that is the stupidest shit I've ever heard in my life. I said, why would you do this? He said, you know, just to warm up to get ready to go drinking. I said, that doesn't make any sense, all right? You don't do it for anything else, do you? You don't go, we're going to go to the cinema, pop a fucking DVD in before we go to the cinema. Just fire up the old Netflix and do shots of popcorn. Is it made before we go down to the cinema? Craziness. Everything revolves around booze, okay? People in this country start drinking around about 13, 14 years of age. Does that feel about right? 13, 14. Some of you, depending on where you're from, younger, some of you older, all right? I get that. But I came over, I visited as a teenager, and I found out the way it works, all right? I was trying to fit in, and they were like, right, what we're gonna do? We're gonna go down drinking in the park, all right? We're gonna go drinking in the park as teenagers, all right? I was like, right. They go, right, we're gonna steal booze from our parents, and we're gonna go down the park, all right? I was like, okay, no problem. So I showed up to the park, all right? Feeling like Jason Bourne or something in my backpack, and I think, pull out the stuff, all right? What's in there? They were like, what the hell is Rioja? Like, it's Rioja. Does anyone have a corkscrew, actually? Because otherwise we're gonna be here for a while. The thing is, like, kids do that, and if they can't steal the booze from their parents, what they do is they'll stand by an off license, all right? And they will wait for somebody to walk past who looks just dodgy enough, but not too dodgy, so they can offer them money and go, hey, can you go in the shop for me and pick me up some beer, some vodka, whatever, we can go down drink in the park, and that person will go get the cash, and then you go there, you get shit-faced as teenagers, it bonds you, okay? It brings you together. At least that was my experience, okay, back in the day. But times have changed, all right? I went to back where my mother's from, okay? My mother's from a little town in Wales called Pontardawe, all right? Don't know if anyone's heard of it. Tiny little town, Pontardawe. Pontardawe is a Welsh word, all right? Pont means bridge, and Dawe means over a shithole, okay? It's Not a delightful place to move to from Mallorca, is what I'm trying to say. My mother hates that joke. She's like, Ignacio, please stop saying that. They've taken all of the trolleys out of the canal, all right? Can we... But I was visiting and I was walking to see my mother and I passed an off license, okay? And there's this kid stood by the off license as I'm passing, all right? And he clocks me and I've got my guitar on my shoulder, so he's thinking, this guy's got no prospects. So he comes over to me with his cash, all right? And he was like, hey, could you maybe go in the shop? I'm like, I know where this is going. He goes, can you pop in the shop? I'm like, right. He goes, if I give you this money? I'm like, yep. And he goes, and get me some. I was like, I know where we're going. He goes, vape. I was like, what? He goes, vape. I said, seriously, vape? He said, yeah. I said, what flavor? He said, cherry. I was like, of course, cherry vape. All right, rock and roll. I go in the shop. I'm laughing to myself. I can't believe these kids asked me for cherry vape. How times have changed, all right? I go up to the counter. The guy behind the counter must have thought I was insane, all right? I'm laughing the whole way through the shop. I grab the stuff, pay for it, put it in the bag. I walk out. I'm laughing on the way out. I give the kid the bag. I go, there you go, pal. 20 Marlboro Red and a bottle of vodka. Grow up, you little shit. What is this? Vape nonsense.
We're very fortunate. We had a wonderful time in our life. I became a dad 18 months ago. Thank you very much. Yeah, he's actually 9 years old, but I've only just started getting involved. The hard work's done. I'll step in now, I think. No, he's a baby. He's a wonderful boy. It's stressful, very stressful. Not for me. For my little boy. Very stressful being a baby. His socks just fall off all day. Just start the day, you look down, his socks are off again. Imagine if you were going through that as adults. Your mental health would be in the gutter if you were going through that. I'm amazed that isn't more baby's first words when they learn to speak, not mum and dada. What the fuck's going on with these socks? Seriously. Mad being a baby. My little boy, he's 18 months old. He's got 3 xylophones. Why would anybody need 3 xylophones? There's professional xylophone players with less xylophones than this kid. I said to my wife, I said, why has he got 3 xylophones? She goes, oh, he likes to play one in the bath. That's some kind of eccentric billionaire. What is going on here? I'm enjoying being a dad. It's changed my whole perspective, to be honest, being a dad. Like, growing up, I used to think that I had an angry dad. Growing up, I always thought I had an angry dad. And now I'm a dad, I'm like, oh, no. We just pushed a very reasonable man to breaking point. just a lovely guy. I think being a parent is a lot like eating a pomegranate. Like, there's really nice little bits, but ultimately, I'm not sure it's worth it. It's really hard. People give you mad advice as well when you have a kid. My little boy, actually, he's about a week old. I was holding him. And my mum, actually, she said, Josh, just think, that little boy you're holding there could go on to be anything he wants to be. He could be a top doctor, a politician, an astronaut. I was like, wow, that's incredible. But also, I wouldn't have thought so. An astronaut... From me to an astronaut in 1 generation. That's a hell of a leap. I went to the pub the other day. It was a push door. I was pulling it. I thought the pub was closed. I just went home. I could see people inside. Well, how have they got in there? What's going on? NASA are not knocking down my door. I don't think he'll be a politician either, because he's going to go to the same shit school in the Midlands that I went to. And politicians, they all go to the posh schools, don't they? And people don't like that. They say, oh, politicians, they all go to the posh schools. I think that's okay. I think that's fine. I don't think you'd want anybody from my school being in charge of the country. Maybe this is very progressive, but I think if you learn maths in a porter cabin, don't get involved in government. I don't know. If you learn about history by watching Blackadder on a wheeled-in TV, stay out of it.
I can't wait to get old. I'm looking forward to getting old. Old people can do what they like. You see any old person, they do what they like. I was on the bus the other day, this incredibly old woman got on, she went straight up to this guy who was sitting down and said, how old are you? This guy was like, 37. She said, I'm 84. Get up. I was like, oh my God, she just invented human top trumps. This guy missed a trick. He should have demanded another round. Be like, all right, old lady, what's your top speed? No chance. I think the worst thing about having a baby, without a doubt, the worst thing about the whole pregnancy, I'd say even more painful than labor, was telling my parents that I was pregnant. Because my parents never talked to me about sex. They just never did that. I mean, to be fair on them, I think they operated on a need-to-know basis, and given I had a head brace till I was 17, they thought, do you know what? She doesn't need to know. But the only time my mum ever talked to me about sex, she once sort of in passing said, oh, by the way, when you make love to a man, put a towel down first. That's it. Both practical and disturbing. Put a towel down first. That's what she'd say. Put a towel down first. I thought, it's given me a pathological fear of sun loungers ever since. And my parents' towel collection. But I swear, I knew nothing about sex as a teenager. I think the closest I came to having sex at that time was when I was doing lengths in a local pool and a man accidentally butterflied over me. I mean, I lost my virginity so late in the end that when it finally happened, I wasn't so much deflowered as dead-headed. But I wish I was sexually confident, like in my 20s. Love to be like that. Love to be a player. You know what I'm talking about? We all know people like this, people who are going to go like, I'm going to go out tonight and I'm going to get laid. I would love to be like that. I'd love to be the sort of person who could just walk into any nightclub with my towel. Like Gold Duke of Edinburgh award-winning piece of ass right here. Strippers. It's another person. Weirdly, I kind of admire strippers. I would love to be like a stripper. I would love to just be able to stand on stage and own it. Like, know I was sexy. That would be awesome, you know? I would be the world's worst lap dancer. I could not sit on a man's knee and not want to make giddy-up noises. And strip joints, they're designed to be alluring. I challenge anyone in this room, even if you agree with them or not, to walk past a strip joint and a bit of you is not like, oh my God, what's happening? Because they've got like the blacked out windows and the bouncers on the door. There's always a bit of you that's like, oh my God, what are they doing in there? And it's exactly the same feeling as when I was a kid and I used to walk past the school staff room. You walk past, you'd be like, oh man, what is happening in there? I mean, it turns out both are full of adults whose lives didn't work out as planned. The thing I find the weirdest about strip joints, if you've ever been to one, everywhere you go, all these big signs, do not touch the women! Please do not touch the ladies! The strippers always say, the fact that the men can't touch us, that's what makes our job really empowering. And I always think, well, that's not really empowering, is it? Because that's the same rule in every other workplace in the country. You know, walk in a shop and it says, welcome to Tesco's, don't finger the staff.
Is there a barrister in the room, by the way? Do we have a barrister here? Yeah, so close. Who you are? What's your name, champ?
Mark.
Mark, what do you do?
Trainee solicitor.
You're a trainee solicitor. Okay, so you don't get to appear in court, do you?
No.
Oh, man, that's the whole fun of it, though. That would be the gas part, just appearing, just doing the walk in front of the jury. Oh, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. Now, that would be the real gas of it all. You don't get that, do you not? No. Oh. Here, let me find out your instincts, though. Maybe you made the right decision, right? When you get to the end of a jury, right? When you get to the end of a jury, you're walking along, no, and you get to the end, right? And the jury's here. Which way should you turn?
Back on yourself.
Like like this?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, that's why you wouldn't have made a good barrister. Just that moment there, right? If you're ever in a court, right, and you're ever representing yourself, walking along and blah, 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 your instinct will be to go blah, 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 end of the thing, just go blah, 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 blah. Wrong. This is the way you do it. Blah, 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 blah. But I ask you, when you look into the face of my client there, ask yourself, is he not guilty? That's how you do it, right? A little bit of showbiz, take it for free, right? Anyway, this psychic, this nameless psychic was on recently, this is a completely true story, was on a couple of days before me in a theatre somewhere, right? And died roaring, couldn't do it, genuinely, and to the point that the audience turned. The audience were just looking at her going, you can't do this. You're actually bad at this, right? You can't. And they started taking the mickey. I started going, give me a name, give me a woman's name. Tracy, perfect, Tracy. Let's call her Tracy, right? Tracy. And the audience started going, Tracy, what about my mother? And Tracy would go, is she dead? And they go, no. And another voice went, Tracy, what about my sister? And one goes, is she dead? And we go, no. And eventually someone goes, Tracy, what about my father? And she goes, is he dead? And the voice goes, yeah. And he went, oh, Ace, no. Something is coming through. Something is coming through. And the voice goes, no, he's here. Sorry. They're glorious, they're fantastic, they're fabulous people. So we had to chat with Andy, we talked to James again, we talked to Julia there. The one person I really wanted to talk to was, well, actually, there was a few, but Melissa from the property shows. Where's that? Hello, how are you? How's yourself? Good to have you here. You do the property shows on BBC Daytime, don't you?
I do.
You do? Yeah, well, you did. What are you going to do next year? Not so much in the property now, is it? That's a kind of a topical one there, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm just picking, you know? What are you going to do? A show called We're Staying Here? Or, actually, the schools aren't that bad. No, do you know what my favourite is? My absolute favourite? The best of all, right? Not grand designs, not location, with respect, not homes under the hammer. Property Ladder is the greatest property show in the world, right? For one simple reason, right? Property Ladder. You know the one I mean? Yeah. Very good. Brilliant. Best, almost the greatest television show, because uniquely, historically, it's the only television show ever that has an expert that nobody pays a blind bit of notice to. Every week, Sarah Beanie comes in and goes, Magnolia, and they go, no, we're painting it black. Every week, she's going, no, please, what are you doing there? We're digging a hole in the hallway to put a swimming pool in. What? She must be off camera every week doing, why am I even here? They don't even listen to a word I say. Every week I give advice, and then they make a big profit, and they think they're as good as me. Well, they're not. And she's in, she's out, she's in, she's out. It's a continuity disaster area, it really is, yeah? I'm not saying anything against her being pregnant, but it does kind of give away how long it takes these people to do a bit of basic plumbing, you know what I mean? In the time it's taken them to plaster the back bedroom that she's been in, she's had 4 kids in the time they've taken them to that. Just stick her in a poncho in episode 1 and be done with it, right? Make her Mexican, she can do the accent. Come in on a donkey going, so you want to develop the property? Yeah. Perhaps you'd like to knock through the wall and make this into a separate bedroom. Yeah, that would rise you many, many pesos for you if you can possibly do that.
I don't know about you guys, but I feel like it's too expensive to be dating right now in this economy, man. All my go-to moves for dating, I can't even afford them no more. I'm pissed off, you know? I used to do the Netflix and chill. That was my go-to move, but that subscription is too much right now. I can't afford it, okay? If I had to downsize, I tell girls, baby, we're gonna have to Wikipedia and chill. That's my new move right now. That's where we read the plot of the movie by candlelight. Take it or leave it. Also, bring your phone. We're using your data, by the way. You better be on gift app. As you go, you gotta go. Those are the rules, you know. There's consequences to that, though. I had a girl break up with me just because I didn't have money, and she got a new boyfriend. He's a nice guy, I know, because I stalk him online sometimes. He's a really nice man. Treats my girl really well, he really does. He buys her expensive handbags and things like that, and that's when I realized I can't compete, man. I can't compete with that. I never even bought this girl a bag for life, not one time. That's cheap. I'll be in Tesco like, baby, you better put that cheese in your pocket. We're not spending that 50p right there. These gold diggers want my plastic bags. They can't have them. That's my bag right there. I'm not a big fan of social media, man. I'm really not. Because I feel like with social media, when you break up with somebody, you can see what they're up to online. I don't like that. I prefer in the past where you broke up with somebody, you could just lie to yourself and pretend that they were still unhappy. That was a good era. I like that. You just be lying to yourself. You'd be like, man, she probably missing me all the time. She probably sad, you know. Now you just go on her Instagram and you're like, oh, no, she 100% made the right decision. Good for her, man. I haven't seen her smile like this in years. In fact, she's thriving. She's got 3 bags for life in one photo. She leveled up for real, bet. Congratulations to you, baby, you know. Do you know, when it comes to dating, I feel like the most important thing is finding somebody that you're compatible with, someone you have that connection with. For example, I used to date this girl, me and her got on really well, but there was a problem, and that was she liked dogs, right? Don't get me wrong, I like dogs too, but she liked dogs too much, you know? She liked dogs too much. She used to kiss her dog, that was weird, you know? I don't even know what was weirder. Was it the fact that she would kiss her dog, or the fact that when she did, the dog would make eye contact with me the whole time? That's a weird power play. I said, this dog is an alpha, I don't feel safe in this relationship. This is a toxic masculinity dog right here. I gotta go. I caught that dog listening to Andrew Tate. I said, I'm out of here. I can't do this no more. I've been reading up about that. That's the new thing, toxic masculinity, man. You know, I keep hearing women say men are trash. You know, I don't think anybody's asking the important questions. Are they recyclable? I feel like that's the kind of stuff we gotta ask. Can we make this toxicity carbon neutral? Maybe, I don't know, you know. I like to think I'm a good guy, but even as a good guy, I make small mistakes sometimes, innocent mistakes. You ever been in that situation as a man, a really awkward situation, you're walking home late at night and there's a woman in front of you and it's dark and there's a lot of tension in the air. You can feel the tension, right? Obviously, I can understand why the woman's feeling tense, but I'm feeling tense too, okay? I'm a good guy, I just want that woman to relax, we both go about our day. But apparently, it makes it worse in that situation if you shout out, I'm not gonna hurt you. Like that makes the situation more tense. Sometimes they run faster when you do that. Don't do that, guys. Don't jump out of a bush and do that. Women don't like that, okay? One time I was walking behind this woman late at night. I know it sounds like there's a pattern emerging. I'm not doing this on purpose. Just woke off the night bus at the same time. It's unfortunate, you know. But I'm walking behind this woman. I was like, I don't want to make the same mistake from last time, shout something out, do something dumb. So I thought it'd be a good idea if I did something non-verbal to help put the woman at ease, okay? I thought it'd be a good idea if I started whistling at night because I thought that would make the atmosphere more jovial. No, it doesn't. Makes it way creepier to my surprise, actually. Especially if you're like me and you don't even know how to whistle properly. So then you're just a guy who's blowing in the wind in the dark, real slow, like. Look like a creepy dinosaur, you can't do that.
Sometimes people come up to me after shows and say, I don't like female comedians. They talk about sex too much. I say the reason why women comedians such as myself talk about sex all the time is because, well, sex is one of the few things men allow us to participate in. I am an identical twin. I know. I get asked, how do people tell you apart? And the answer is it's pretty easy, because I live in London and she's dead. She died at birth. Which I'm absolutely okay with, because that means I'll always be the pretty one. You'll be relieved to know that being American is not my only disability. I also have a very mild form of cerebral palsy. It's not a big deal. In Japanese, it's called no seisho ni mahi. Sounds very exotic. In French, it's called infirmité motrice cérébrale. It sounds much more expensive. I was gonna learn how to say it in Russian, but Putin's not my president anymore, so. All it really means is I can't use the muscles on the right side of my body very well, even my face to a certain extent. God help the man hoping for a return on a left cheek kiss, because I will bite your face off. Mostly, though, it's my right arm and hand that I can't use. I can place most things in my hand and hold them. I can also give people the finger, if you're into that sort of thing. Just takes 20 minutes. And when I walk with a limp because I like big dicks if I can not. do. My mom, she feels responsible for my disability because she is. I don't want you to get the wrong idea. I love my mother very, very much. If it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be a comedian. But I would be able to use both hands. I moved to London 5 years ago, but I've been coming to the UK every summer for years and years before that, because I fucking love you guys. I do. I genuinely cannot get enough of you and your no-can-do spirit. Also, as a disabled person that can't drive, I've figured out that countries with obvious alcohol problems have pretty decent public transportation. And you people drink a lot. There's been a strike going on, and I'm still getting to gigs. That's how much you drink. We Americans, we don't drink as much as you. We physically can't. We're on too many opioids.
Now, let me just start by saying, well done to any parents who've made it here tonight. We got parents? Because here's what I've realised. If you've not got children, you're just here. It's easy, but if you're a parent, this is everything. This will have been in the diary for months. There'll be parents in here tonight, don't even care about the show. They're just enjoying sitting in the dark for a bit. That is like a spa day for some of them. I could see them now at the back just going, this is so good. Don't make me go back, John. Don't make me go back. I get it, okay? I've got 2 young children. My youngest one's Sophia. She's 5 now. I mean, I say she's 5. She's 3 when we go swimming. I'm not an idiot. 4 on a bus, 3 on a train. That's the system, isn't it? I'll be honest, she hasn't got a clue how old she is now, that one. She's so confused. Every birthday is a genuine surprise for all of us. This kid wandering round. How old am I today then, Daddy? Depends what we're doing, darling, doesn't it? Have you checked the spreadsheet? You said Alton Towers. Right, well, getting that baby grow looks small, all right? Not paying 48 quid for you to go on some teacups, that way, mate. Come on. What does Daddy say? Well, get on board with the fraud. There's a good girl. Now stop talking, we're trying to breastfeed you. Listen! You go through that turnstile with a 5-year-old hanging off your tit, they ask no questions. I've got one, why does she have to bite me? But, so she's a great kid. There's just a lot of admin when your kids are that little. Have we got primary school teachers amongst us this evening? Great, I'm glad you're here, because I can direct all this venom at you. Because here's my problem. My daughter brings home stuff she's made every day under people like you. And I just want to say on behalf of all the parents here tonight, just stop it. We can't deal with it anymore. You don't see it at your end. You just keep sending it. Your carbon footprint is massive. It is. You might as well have driven an oil tanker into a family of puffins, you people. We'll never solve the climate problem with you involved, because it just keeps coming, doesn't it? And it's not arts and crafts anymore. It's emotional landfill. That's what it is. Because Gemma will say, oh, she's put a name on it, so we have to keep it. We don't. We don't. She's not Banksy. Get it in the bin, mate. Do you know what I mean? It's another picture of a sheep out of dried pasta, innit? We've had 4 this week. I tell you, no wonder there's a school meals crisis. Stop sticking it on paper and cook it, you morons. We'll feed these kids for years. I'm just envious of my parents now. Their lives are so simple. Like, they're retired. My dad loves being retired, mainly because he's paying the world back one day at a time for all the misery it's caused him. He sets his alarm 8 o'clock every morning, gets up, gets out into rush hour traffic. Just gets in everyone's way. That is a day out for that man now. Nowhere to go, nothing to do. Sometimes he'll even take the car. But, of course he takes the car. How else would you tow a caravan? But he's a great man. There's a man down here, so it reminds me of my dad, mate. Yeah, you don't look like him. It's just he's bitterly disappointed in me as well. That's fine. for everyone. He's called Roy, my dad, Apollo, which is a very manly name, isn't it? Like people called Roy come out the womb already able to grout a bathroom. That's how hard that name is. He was born by caesarean section, my dad. I reckon the first thing he did was turn around to his own mother and give her a quote for the damage. Just came out with a pencil. That's all right. We'll plaster over that. Don't worry. See you next week.
I used to be not exactly ashamed of my blackness, but I never wanted to do anything that could be seen as stereotypically black, and it followed me all my life. So when I was younger, when I was at school, if I was ever in PE and a basketball would come flying at top speed towards my face, instead of catching that basketball in the air, dribbling it towards the nearest net and slam dunking the thing, as I naturally would, I just let it hit me in the face and roll away. When I got older, I made a lot of friends, mainly white friends, and we started going to the club. Are you familiar with the club? Not the club, the club. At the end of the street. Whenever I went to the club and I was dancing with a group of friends, I would deliberately dance less well on purpose. So that the white people wouldn't be intimidated. There'd always be one other black person in the corner of the room, arms folded, looking at me like, you're disrespecting yourself. When meanwhile, I'll be in the middle of the dance floor just moving like Miley Cyrus. I tried so hard. I tried so hard to pass as white. I did all the white things. I bought pesto. I said tissue. And I got really dangerously into Jamie T. I am talking about the era of Jamie T, Pete Doherty, Jack Pignati, Jedward. I spent my late teens, arguably the sexiest part of one's teens, just sort of lusting over these gurning predators. Like, imagine more me, you'll be at a house party with an edgy white boy and he'd have the whole edgy boy starter kit. He'd have the skinny jeans, roly fag, unacceptable BO. He'd be talking always about one of his two favourite subjects, which is always either dubstep or himself. And you'd be sitting on the windowsill and finally you'd pluck up the courage to just cut him off mid-anecdote, put your hand on his shoulder, look him in the eye and be like, mate, I love you. And then he'd look at you, and you'd look at him, and you'd lean in for a kiss, and then he'd just sort of thumb MDMA into your mouth. And after that was it, you were like, wow! I think he really likes me. Oh my God, white guys. I spent half my life lusting after unsuitable white guys. Have we got any white guys in? Come on, guys, cheer louder. We know how much you get paid. Because you are everywhere. You're in the White House, you're in the big banks, you're in all the fancy court cases, you're killing it. Sometimes literally. But I don't want anyone to think I'm having a go because I genuinely adore white guys. Love your work. Ed Sheeran, amazing. I haven't got anything against white men apart from, obviously, everything it is that they've done. Some of my best friends. Some of my best friends are white men. My mother is a white man.
We need to bring back a sense of consequences for our actions. In this world, there are no more consequences for actions, yeah? And what I'm talking about, if there's no consequences in this life, what we need to do is bring back to Britain a simple sense of hell. The idea, if we screw up in this life, right, we will burn in sulphur for all eternity in the next life. Now, this is quite a tough sell, right? You don't like that idea, do you? Right, but hear me out. This is a good idea. We got any Christians present? I need your assistance. Any Christian people here this evening? Yeah. In the pink shirt. What's your name, son? Josh. Fantastic. You a Christian? So you understand the idea of redemption, eternity, resurrection, eternity in particular. And I do too. I understand the notion of eternity because I went to church on Sunday. Let me tell you this. That service went on forever. If it took me an hour to open a bottle of wine, I'd be drummed out of business. Now, the point is this. How long does it take to own a packet of crisps? Get on with it. We need to bring back... Now, the problem with the idea of hell is no one's frightened of it. Now, I'm going to describe hell for you now, and none of you are going to bat an eyelid, right? And while your body's boiling in the mouldering in the grave, we'll take your soul and boil it in boiling oil for 1,000 millennium. Then after that, 2 sulphurous demons, emissaries of Satan himself, will come along, pull out your kidneys and set fire to them on the red-hot coals of hell itself. Then after this, another demon will come along, pull out your eyeballs, stick them on a red-hot poker, burn them on the hot coals of hell, and stick them up your arsehole, and they'll come out your own mouth with the shit on it. And this will go on forever. So you're not bothered by that, are you? In fact, most of you are laughing at it. Huh? In fact, most of us, being British, are thinking, well, come on then! Got yourself the devil! And that's the interesting thing about hell, isn't it? When you describe it, when someone describes hell, it tells you everything you need to know about that person, right? And what he's like and what his people are like. And I describe hell then in a normal British accent, which tells you that we, the British, are stoic, tough people who could take absolutely bloody anything. Right? And that's the interesting thing about hell. It tells you about the people telling you about it. Hell, in a French accent, for instance, sounds like a recipe. And while the body is lying down, the worms inside the flesh, we take out the soul and place it in very hot oil for a long time. Then, once it is tender, 2 demons come together at once, remove the kidneys and place them on the hot coals with a little white wine vinegar, some sea salt, and some rosemary, and cook them till they're brown on the outside but still pink in the middle. Then after this, we take the eyeballs, place them on the hot coals, cook them till they're crunchy on the outside, runny in the middle, on the hot poker, stick them up the arse, they come out the mouth with the shit on. It is delicious. Absolutely delicious. Hey, you see? Perverts! Perverts, basically, yeah? Hell in a Dutch accent sounds like a pretty good stag do, doesn't it? Hey, and while your body is lying down, we'll take you to the hottest place you can imagine. Imagine the hottest place you can go, yeah? Now go even hotter. And 2 demons will come together and rub oil all over your body. 2 demons together. 2 demons together at once, and then you will take out your kidneys. Oh, your hot kidneys. Your hot kidneys. And place the kidneys in a hot place and cook the kidneys till they're hard, until your kidneys are hard. And then take out your eyeballs and stick them in your bum hole. And this will cost you €45. Hey, I mean, really? Sounds like an agreeable weekend.
I don't live in Hull anymore. I moved to London because I was sick of having a spare room and a garden. Get me to London. I moved to London. I told my mum I was moving to London, and I thought she'd be like, Amy, I'm so proud of you. You're following your dreams. It's like a film. She didn't. My mum looked at me and she said, oh, Amy, why? Oh, Amy, why? And I thought, I wonder what her problem is with London. Is it the cost? Is it the crime? No, my mum had one problem, and one problem only with London. She looked at me and she went, Amy, they all walk so fast. They all walk so fast. Where are they going at such a speed? Jobs. Yeah, they got jobs down there, Mum. It's pretty cool. Where are you from?
Camberwell.
Camberwell? Are you really? Oh, my God. I had the worst gig of my life in Camberwell. I didn't really. It was Wigan, but segways are hard. Thank you. So I was once doing this gig in Camberwell. I wasn't. I've literally never been. And I was doing this gig in Camberwell, and it wasn't nice like this, right? It was the sort of gig that you dread as a comedian. So the gigs you dread are when you get to the stage, you look out, and the first 5 or 6 rows of the audience are all bald men with their arms folded. And honestly, from the stage, it looks like you've opened a box of eggs. It does, and you think, oh no, it's an egg gig. And egg gigs are tricky, right? Because I tell you what, eggs love a heckle. And at this one gig in Camberwell, it wasn't, this egg heckled me before I'd even said anything, right? So I get to the mic, and this egg shouted something just off the top of his shiny head. And it was so funny and so witty, I thought I should share it with you tonight, right? So I get to the mic, and quick as a flash, he goes like this. Tits! You've got tits! I was like, wow, how did he think of that? And I thought, maybe he's trying to warn me. Maybe he sat there thinking, oh, she doesn't know. I should tell her. She'll kick herself when she realises how embarrassing to come out with tits. And it's hard when stuff like that happens, you know, because I'm trying to be taken seriously as a comedian. And I think we all know in this lovely liberal city, we all know in 2024, the funny's here. It's not here. We all know, don't we? There's nothing funny. Please, come on. We all know, don't we? There's nothing funny. Apollo. We all know, don't we? There's nothing funny about... It's just sexist. Immature. It's just really silly, isn't it?
There's other younger people in the room, right? You know what I mean. You have only ever known a time in your life when you're trying not to get pregnant or trying not to get somebody else pregnant. And I don't want to blow my own trumpet, but on both accounts, I fucking smashed it. I think it comes down to skill set at the end of the day, doesn't it? People are just good at different things. Some people are good at the violin. Some people are good at parallel parking. I was very good at taking the pill. Every day, every day, every day. Honestly, I used to think I was so good at taking the pill, I deserved a reward. Arguably, there was a reward. It was the reward of not having to watch Peppa Pig or cleaning up another human's shit. Tell you what I don't understand, right, is women who are on the pill and forget to take it. Don't get that. Because don't get me wrong, I forget things. I forget my keys, my wallet, the fact I'm married. Sure! But forgetting to take something that can prevent you from creating a human that could one day say, turn the machines off, is what she would have wanted. I'm going to remember that one, thank you. Obviously does happen though, women forget to take the pill, they get knocked up. Happened to a girl I used to work with actually, when I used to work in an office, right? And we were chatting about it one day. She was so blasé, we're in the kitchen. She's just standing there rubbing her belly like, well, the thing is, I've just got really bad memory. I was thinking, that's funny, because every day without fail, you remember to steal my milk. Maybe if you'd strapped your packet of microgynon to my semi-skimmed, Stephen in accounts wouldn't be telling everyone how you trapped him. But I think the reason I was always very good at remembering to take the pill, because I've been on it for so long. I was on it since I was about 16. And the reason I started taking it was because I was going out with my first boyfriend, Kevin Sutherland. A boom, chicka, wow, wow. He was quite the catch. He had a Peugeot 106. And and a tattoo of Bart Simpson, which I thought showed a great joie de vivre. And things were going very well between Kevin and I. We had matching bracelets from Argos, so you can tell how serious we were. And we'd agreed that we were going to do it for the first time, right? So I was like, right, I put myself on the pill because my first time is going to be really special. My first time is going to be just like in the movies. So the big day arrived, and Kevin, bless him, he made such an effort for everything to be really perfect. Like, he paid his little brother to leave the room. To this day, the most romantic thing a man has ever done for me. And he made a mix CD of all of our favourite romantic songs. You know, like Boom, 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 Let Me Hear You Say Wayo. And as we lay down on his single bed, with his Liverpool FC duvet cover on it, the scent of Lynx Africa heavy in the air. And as Kevin took my virginity so beautifully, and gently, and quickly, from behind, I remember thinking, wow, just like in the movies. Obviously, it's quite difficult to make eye contact in that position, isn't it? Almost felt like I lost my virginity to Stephen Gerrard. I'll never walk alone. I never will.
You know, when I found out that I was going to do this gig, I immediately put together a message and I pinged it out on our family WhatsApp group to my husband and my children, because that is the kind of rock and roll comic I am. And my son, my teenage son, wrote back to me at once, and his message said, "Thug life chose you, brah." And I was like, oh shit, my child has joined a gang. I mean, what kind of language is this? Thug and bra. It had 2 R's, but he's a terrible speller. And I was like, oh no. And the other thing is, I thought, this message is not for me. This idiot has sent me a message by mistake, which is for a gang member. What if the next message is something much worse? And that really bothered me because, well, this was my moment. I am going to Apollo. Like, if I'm going to find out you're a criminal, can we do it next month? So I wrote back to him in all caps, because as a good Indian mother, I mainly shout at my children. I wrote back, "This is your mom." And he wrote back, "I know, gigging like a boss." Thank you. A boss. Yeah, B-A-W-S-E, boss. And also, please do remember as you listen to the rest of my set this evening that I didn't choose it, but the thug life chose me. That's right. So I have kids. Of course, you love your kids, and it's difficult to raise them. Small kids are very easy, I find. The biggest downside of having a very small child is they are very boring. Yeah, they want to show you they love you by talking to you all the time, but everything they know, you already know. I mean, literally zero value add in any of those conversations. But you do it anyway because they're your kids, you know? And you know what people say? Small kids, small problems, big kids, bigger problems. And the reason is that as your kids get older, you have to discipline them properly. And I find this very stressful because I'm born and raised in India. So what I consider robust, healthy, high-quality parental discipline is frowned upon in this part of the world. That's not true. It's illegal. I know because I have checked. And I want to have really well-behaved kids, but that is no use to me if I am in jail. So I had to learn what you guys do here. And the big thing here is teach your kids about action and consequence using a multitude of techniques. So you have something called star chart. You know what star chart is? Yeah, no, let me tell you, sir. Star chart is you find something vaguely not negative that your child possibly might be able to do and then work it into the conversation and give them a star. Thank you for not kicking me in the face today. Here's a star. And then the other one, action and consequence, naughty step. You've been terribly behaved. Kindly go relax on the staircase.
I am what you call in show business a triple threat. I do comedy, and I do music, and I will cut you. Just joking, I probably won't. So it's so fantastic to be here today. I will be doing a little bit of music, so if you're a fan of NWA or Snoop Doggy Dogg, then I apologise. I'll be about 3 minutes. So this first song, this is about travelling on a train. Could you give me a cheer, Apollo, if you've ever been on a train before? About half. Okay, great. Lovely. Well, the half of you who cheered, that means you are my target demographic. Congratulations. So I'm going to sing this song. This is about the worst thing any of us can ever encounter on a train journey. Just before I sing it, I have had some problems at previous gigs, actually, so I just want to make something crystal clear. If you listen carefully, I'm not even saying the word Hindu. Just listen harder. Hindu on a train. Hindu on a train. Cowboy hats and penis cakes. Neck tattoos and big L plates. And voices like a foghorn in a drain. Hindu on a train. Groping every passing male. I suspect you've been to jail. And God willing, you might all go again. And although I have so many things to say to you, I'm aware that there are 6 of you, and all of you have had more fights than me. I've never glassed someone, but I do know how. Perhaps I'll glass you now. Hindu on a train. You brought your own speakers too, brilliant. To belt out Calvin Harris tunes. I mean, the maid of honor's clearly on cocaine. Hindu on a train. You see me staring and you threaten me. Then drunkenly you all set on me. And with a dick-shaped bottle take your aim. If you only knew, we're not so different, me and you. Just 3 months ago, my friends Hindu, we got drunk and we pretty much hijacked a plane. We were worse than you. We went down on all the crew. Mostly reluctant gay men, some women too. We got thrown out of Spain. You see, we're all the same, but you're not listening, you're bashing out my brain. Hindu on a train.
I'm married to a comedian. Did you know John Richardson? Oh, yeah. You know he is. Do you know, because I'm going on tour, my management company, they took a Facebook advert out and someone said, don't read the comments. So I did. There was just one that bothered me, and this guy had put, without trying to be too crude, how many has she had to... to get the career she's got? I mean, the answer's one, but... It's weird to applause that, isn't it? It's only weird for my granddad who's watching. That's not weird. You've made that weird for an 87-year-old. Anyway, but the thing, because I don't know if you've noticed, but I've started to do a bit of telly now, and I'm in this weird stage where I'm getting recognised, but I'm not used to it yet. And I walked in a pub last night, and there was a woman staring at me, and I thought, what are you fucking looking at? And then I realised, oh, it's me. I did, you know Michael McIntyre's The Wheel? Have you seen it? The game show? I lost someone £98,000. If you've seen the show, you know they go back down in the ground. When he went down, he turned to me and said, I've had a lovely day, thank you. That would have slapped me. We're both vegan now. I'm a vegan that likes steak for the iron, and John's a vegan when he's interviewed on TV. It's a weird life for him, though, you know. As you've seen it through his eyes, the situations we're getting from... Because he's been on TV 10 years. We went and did this gig, you know, in a school. And then we parked up, and he turned to me and he said, I've got to go. And I was like, oh, all right then, just wait till you get in. He was like, I've got to go now. And he didn't let me get out. He got on the back seat, and luckily we had a bucket because we've been to Seaside. We've got blacked out windows. And I got out, and there was 2 of his fans waiting for him. And they said, we've come all the way from Rotherham to see John. They said, where is he? I said, he's shitting in a bucket in the back of the car. And they said at the same time, we'll wait. But we're both vegan. And then when we go out for a nice meal, I'll order the steak for the iron. And he'll order butternut squash. And then he'll be looking at my steak and he's not listening to what I'm saying. And so what I do right at the end, I go, oh, I can't eat that last bit. Oh, what a waste, like that. And then we just swap the plates round and it's all in silence. And he eats this bit of steak and the look on his face after he's eaten it is like, you know those Facebook adverts that go viral of the deaf baby when it gets a hearing aid? And here's its mother talk. That's what it's like.
All of the parenting stresses me out. All of it. Like right from the beginning, when you're pregnant, you've got to think of a name for your kid. You're like, right, we're going to have to name it. That's tradition. Going to have to give it a name. And it's hard to think of a name for a kid because that's their name. That's going to be their name all their life if it pans out. And I'm an indecisive person. I struggle to think of passwords for websites, and you get help for that, don't you? Like, oh no, weak. And names go in and out of fashion, don't they? Some names, they can be in fashion, but they don't come back in. We all know those names. And I tell you a thing that's back in fashion now, and I find it fascinating, is virtue names, right? That is back in fashion. Those virtue names is a sort of Victorian notion that if you name your kid after a virtue, they might live up to that virtue. But that's risky business, isn't it? That's hubris. I wouldn't risk it. You could call your son Victor. He could end up a bit of a loser. Ernest, he could become a bullshitter. Grace is an ever-popular name. I wouldn't risk it. You could call your daughter Grace. She could end up a sort of galumphing oaf. Sacking her head on low beams. Falling into crockery at dinner parties. You'd be like, oh, come on, Grace, do your laces up, babe. Stop farting. Prudent, she'll end up lip deep in debt, won't she? Chastity. Although my son is called Frank. Someone said to me, you've done it, innit? You've called your son Frank. That's a virtue. To be honest, to be above board, to be trustworthy. I was like, oh, shit, never thought that. He'd end up an estate agent now, isn't he? He's funny, Frank. I think he's funny. I would say that, wouldn't I? Because I'm his mum. He's not funny. My child's funny. Tell a joke. Look at 774 pictures of my child. But I think he's funny, right? I went to pick him up from school the other day. I pick him up every day because they get proper arsey if you don't. They do. They ring you. They're like, where are you? I'm like, TK Maxx, where are you? Oh, all right then, yeah. So, yes, I went to pick him up from school and I was late, and I wasn't being very laid back that day. I was running a bit late, a bit stressed. I had my eldest with me. I had my mate's 2 kids that were coming back for tea. I thought we'd just get him and go. He's in reception. I was like, right, we'll just get off, yeah? But the teacher stopped me. She went, can you wait, actually? Can we have a quick chat? In that, you know, voice. So I had to arrange my face into one of those mum pretending to give a shit faces. I said, go on, what's he done? She said, do you want to tell Mummy what you did today, Frank, or shall I tell Mummy? He's got upset now. He's like, you tell Mummy. I'm like, what's he done? What? She said, look, today, Frank stuck a digit up the teaching assistant's bottom. That's not ideal, is it? It's very difficult to know what to do with your face. I was going through all the faces in my phone. She said, we've talked about bodies, haven't we, Frank? And areas of bodies that we respect. I thought now would be a really bad time to go, this is awful. I mean, this is a finger up the TA's... I mean, this is now they're teaching numeracy in primary education now. It's not like, oh, if Frank's got one finger up the TA's arse, how many fingers are still on the outside?
I'm used to my appearance provoking the full spectrum of facial reactions everywhere I show up, and you absolutely did not let me down. You were delighted, weren't you? You gave me some wonderful face when I came up here. You looked at me like your mother-in-law just cancelled dinner. I've been lucky enough to travel, and I'll never forget my first trip to Australia. I went to a place called Perth. I got off the plane. First person that saw me said the following. Hey, mate! Hey, mate! Why is Freddie Mercury wearing a kimono? Huh. Hey, mate, why is Freddie Mercury wearing a kimono? Now, this man opened the interaction with the words, hey, mate. Our eyes met, right? I was the mate. Case closed. Then he said, why is Freddie Mercury wearing a kimono? I looked around, there was nobody else there. I was persons 1 and 2 in the rhetorical question. I've never met this man, and already, grammatically, I'm on the back foot. I wasn't going to put up with that. You would have been proud of me. You can't show any weakness. I summoned up every ounce of testosterone in my body, and I fired it ocularly at this chap. And I said, I think you'll find that this is a smoking jacket. Yeah, I showed the bugger. There's a lot that's not made sense, though, and one of the things that I still struggle with to this day is how uptight us Brits are. I didn't realise in the UK, how are you is a rhetorical question. how are you, is a rhetorical question. If somebody from the UK asks you how you are and you tell them, they would be mortified. Now, there are geographical anomalies, I'm delighted to say. If you ask somebody from Liverpool how they are, they will tell you. 10 times out of 10, and I love them for that. Now, from personal experience, they oscillate wildly between two very distinctively different states. The first one is thus. How am I? I'm sound, mate. I'm buzzing. I'm having a belter. Do you know what? Work's sound. Aaron Dawes is sound. Even our Anthony's being sound. Look at the weather, lad. Cracking the flags. I love you, kid. Apologies for the accent, by the way. I have the ability to blend in seamlessly with my environment wherever I go. I feel an energy, I match it, we become almost indistinguishable. Silly. Now, that's the first state. Now, the second state of Scouse being is rather different, and it is as follows. I'm fuming, lad. Don't you start, lad. I am fuming here, mate. I'm fuming. I am fuming. I'm up the wall with work. I've seen me arse with my dad. Everton are being shite again. You're doing my fucking head in. I am fumigating here, kid.
Oh, we have a great show for you tonight. We have a fantastic show. Very funny comedians. I know funny. I do very funny. People always ask me who I think is funny. That's the number 2 question I get asked as a comedian. The number 1 question I get asked as a comedian is, have you ever died? As soon as you tell someone you're a comedian, first thing they want to know, oh, you ever died? Oh, what's it like when no one laughs? Oh, tell us about the worst gig you've ever had in your life. Please, relive for me, in minute detail, the worst moment of your professional career. Have you ever really died? It's like saying to a doctor, tell us about the last patient you lost. What happened? With the family crying. I bet they were they? Yeah. People are such ghouls. It's the number 1 question. Have you ever died? Number 2 question, though, is what makes you laugh? People always want to know that from me. Who do you think is funny? And that's a nicer question. That's more understandable. You know, I make people laugh. People want to know what makes me laugh. In the same ways you might say to your hairdresser, who cuts your hair? Or you might say to someone in an Audi, who do you think drives like a cock? Same thing. I like that joke. It's a short joke. It's a sharp joke. And also with that joke, I get to spot every Audi driver in the room. I can just see a pinched expression on your face there. All right, no need to be like that about it. I've done well for myself. It's a very reliable machine. And the fact that I can tell you're an Audi driver by the expression on your face means technically you've just given a form of indication. So well done. Good for you. We knew you could do it. Yeah. Have you ever died? Who do you think is funny? You always get asked the same questions. That's what I don't like doing interviews. I love doing this job. This is great. I love standing here talking to you, though. But doing interviews, it's a necessary evil. It's part of the job. I having to answer questions. And I don't even like watching interviews. You'd rather watch a comedian tell jokes than talk about how they wrote them. You'd rather watch a singer sing songs than talk about their inspiration. You'd rather watch a sports person do their sport. You'd certainly rather watch a sports person do their sport. Come on now. Sports interviews can be turgid affairs at best. And then I hit it with my foot. You mean you kicked it? If you like. They're really interesting. They're really, and I'm not slagging sports people. It takes a great deal of single-mindedness to excel at a sport to a point where people want to interview you about it. But sports people are famous because they're good at sport, not because they're good at talking about sport. That's why you find a sports person who is good at talking about sport, the BBC will cream their knickers over them. We found a woman. She used to ride horses. That's a sport. And she's quite lively and engaging and charismatic. Put her on absolutely everything! Do not let her out of your sight. Even people I'm a fan of. Andy Murray. I love Andy Murray. Britain should be very proud of Andy Murray. He's done a lot to be proud of. He's won Wimbledon. He's Olympic gold medalist. And he put up with a lot of shit when he was, 8th best in the world? Oh, you bloody loser, you. He's done a lot to be proud of. He's won Wimbledon, he's Olympic gold medalist, he's magnanimous in victory, he's humble in defeat. And he's a big comedy fan. He's been to see me live, I've met him, lovely bloke. But Jesus Christ. I cannot listen to him drone on one more time about how he won, stroke lost another tennis match. I can't do it. So then I hit it to him, and he hit it back to me, and I'm very good at tennis, but he is also very good at tennis. So
Some days I'm better at tennis than he is, but I think what's happened today was he was slightly better at tennis than I am, and that's maybe why he won the game of the... Oh, for God's sake, man! I'm not very sporty, you can probably tell. I like hill walking. Doesn't really count as a sport. I like hill walking and camping. Proper camping, though. None of your glamping bullshit. Glamping. Derivation of the words glamorous and camping, where you stay in a yurt, which is more expensive than a hotel. What is wrong with you? A lot of people don't realise yurt is a derivation of the words yura and twat. A lot of people don't realise that.
We need to bring back a sense of consequences for our actions. In this world, there are no more consequences for actions, yeah? And what I'm talking about, if there's no consequences in this life, what we need to do is bring back to Britain a simple sense of hell. The idea, if we screw up in this life, right, we will burn in sulphur for all eternity in the next life. Now, this is quite a tough sell, right? You don't like that idea, do you? Right, but hear me out, this is a good idea. We got any Christians present? I need your assistance. Any Christian people here this evening? Yeah, in the pink shirt. What's your name, son? Josh. Fantastic. You're a Christian? So you understand the idea of redemption, eternity, yeah? Resurrection, eternity in particular. And I do too. I understand the notion of eternity because I went to church on Sunday. Let me tell you this, that service went on forever. If it took me an hour to open a bottle of wine, I'd be drummed out of business. Now, the point is this. How long does it take to own a packet of crisps? Get on with it. We need to bring back... Now, the problem with the idea of hell is no one's frightened of it. Now, I'm going to describe hell for you now, and none of you are going to bat an eyelid, right? And while your body's boiling mouldering in the grave, we'll take your soul and boil it in boiling oil for 1,000 millennium. Then after that, 2 sulphurous demons, emissaries of Satan himself, will come along, pull out your kidneys and set fire to them on the red-hot coals of hell itself. Then after this, another demon will come along, pull out your eyeballs, stick them on a red-hot poker, burn them on the hot coals of hell, and stick them up your arsehole, and they'll come out your own mouth with this shit on it. And this will go on forever. So you're not bothered by that, are you? In fact, most of you are laughing at it. Huh? In fact, most of us, being British, are thinking, well, come on then! Call yourself the devil! And that's the interesting thing about hell, isn't it? When you describe it, when someone describes hell, it tells you everything you need to know about that person, right? And what he's like and what his people are like. And I describe hell then in a normal British accent, which tells you that we, the British, are stoic, tough people who could take absolutely bloody anything. Right? And that's the interesting thing about hell. It tells you about the people telling you about it. Hell, in a French accent, for instance, sounds like a recipe. And while the body is lying down and the worms inside the flesh, we take out the soul and place it in very hot oil for a long time. Then, once it is tender, 2 demons come together at once, remove the kidneys and place them on the hot coals with a little white wine vinegar, some sea salt, and some rosemary, and cook them till they're brown on the outside, but still pink in the middle. Then after this, we take the eyeballs, place them on the hot coals, cook them till they're crunchy on the outside, runny in the middle, on the hot poker, stick them up the arse, they come out the mouth with the shit on. It is delicious. Absolutely delicious. Hey, you see? Perverts! Perverts, basically, yeah? Hell. Hell in a Dutch accent sounds like a pretty good stag do, doesn't it? Hey, and while your body is lying down, we'll take you to the hottest place you can imagine. Imagine the hottest place you can go, yeah? Now go even hotter. And 2 demons will come together and rub oil all over your body. 2 demons together. 2 demons together at once, and then you will take out your kidneys. Oh, your hot kidneys. Your hot kidneys. And place the kidneys in a hot place and cook the kidneys till they're hard, until your kidneys are hard. And then take out your eyeballs and stick them in your bum hole. And this will cost you 45 euros. Hey, are you ready? Sounds like an agreeable weekend.
I just don't know how to relax. A friend of mine, when he wants to relax, he listens to a whale song. You know those tapes of whales singing, and they go, I think, firstly, they're not singing, are they? No, they're faxing. Really long fax. Like the one I asked my brother to send me. That time I ran out of toilet paper. Shops were shut. But also, they can't be relaxed. They've got to be the least relaxed animals on the planet, whales, haven't they? For starters, they're endangered. Is that relaxing? There's only 10 of you left. Fine! As long as I'm one of them. If I'm feeling a bit horny, I'll sellotape a couple of dolphins together. But not only are they endangered, they're the biggest animals on the planet, whales, aren't they? They're enormous. Me doing that doesn't really get across how big they are. They're massive. But they eat the smallest, don't they? Plankton and krill, tiny little creatures like that. Imagine you're a great big animal. You're starving hungry. You never get a good bite of anything. Never get a good, oh, that was bloody lovely, that was. No, just all day long shoving tiny bits of food in the side of your mouth. Oh, I'm sick of these stupid little things. Oh. I like to think of it as Jeff Capes living on hundreds and thousands. He'd be furious, wouldn't he? I'm starving! And he'd be wandering around looking for whatever the individual of hundreds and thousands is. I don't know what you call them when you've only got one. You wouldn't call it a hundreds and thousand, would you? That's far too long a word for something that insignificant. Maybe they call it a one. And then maybe we've got two of them. You've got two ones. That's confusing, isn't it? Because they can't have always had hundreds and thousands of them. Surely in the early days, when they first started making them, they must have made a few, see what they were like. I mean, that's not good business sense, is it? You've got a new product, you don't just make hundreds of thousands! We're gonna be rich! Oh, you make a few more. I don't know. It's a mystery. In America, they don't call them hundreds and thousands, actually. They don't call them that. They call them sprinkles. And unfortunately, I found that out at a gig. And that was a tough night, I tell you. There's a guy in the front row going, hundreds and thousands what? Hundreds and thousands what? I said, no, it's not hundreds and thousands of anything. They're called that. It's a cake decoration. He said, we don't call them that. We call them sprinkles. So I said, all right. I said, all right. It's like Jeff Capes, right? Living on sprinkles. I thought I'd get him a second time. He said, who the hell's Jeff Capes? I said, he's a massive bloke. I said, strongest man in the world 3 years running. Loves his grub. He said, we don't call him that. We call him Luther Vandross. So I said, all right. It's like Luther Vandross living on sprinkles. But by that point, they'd forgotten about the whales. Why the hell would Luther Vandross eat sprinkles? He's a millionaire. He could have steak every day. You saying he's too dumb to go and find his own food? He's got to go around eating little bits of cakes? Are you racist, buddy? Is that your problem? So I just did a couple of knob gags and got off.
Look at this pretty lady. Don't fight it. I can tell by your eyes that you want me. Hmm? Oh, fuck it. I can't keep it up. It's all a joke. I've never left the country. Good evening, folks. Very, very, very pleased to be here tonight. I want to tell you a bit about myself, because I've started off quite aggressive, so I'll pull back, right? My parents arrived in London in the 60s. And London in the 60s was very, very similar to Australia now. No real diversity, right? I remember my first day at primary school, I ran into the classroom, I ran straight back home, and I went, Mum, Mum, apparently there's a black boy in my class. I can't find him anywhere. So you young people, you're very, very lucky, right? Young people. How old are you, son? Right there, you. 16? What year were you born?
91.
1991. Did you hear that noise? That's called jealousy. There are people in this room with underpants and socks older than you. Where are you from, child? Where are you from?
London.
London, big place. Scale it down. I'm not driving a minicab. Let's work together. Kilburn, North London, yeah. South London, representing.
People ask me all the time, so Rich, how did you end up becoming a comedian? And I always say, why do you say end up, like I made a mistake? It's kind of a polite conversation you have with a tramp. So, fella, how'd you end up in a skip? It's the most fantastic job in the world, right? You make people laugh, you, fella, with all that stress on your face. Look at you, sit in the front row trying to get the jokes before anyone else. How desperate are you for comedy, my friend? Well, you people, Brits, but... Oh, I'm sorry, what? I wasn't expecting a response. Do you work?
I'm a student.
A student, all right. No more questions, Your Honor. It's very easy, no heavy lifting. Yeah? Why don't you think about being a comedian? What are you studying?
History.
History. That goes back a long time, doesn't it? Why don't you try American history? A couple hundred years. Boom, you're done. Listen, here's the thing, all right? You just say intelligent things stupidly. That's all there is to being a comedian. Or maybe it's stupid things intelligently. It's not rocket surgery. I'll tell you that right now. That's what I get asked all the time. So I bet you were the class clown. Were you the class clown? Screw you. Why would you suggest I took a childhood disorder and turned it into a career, you prick? No one ever says to a hooker, were you the class whore? I bet you were the class whore, weren't you? Let the mystery be. I love watching Brits snap. That is the greatest thing in the world. When a Brit snaps, you don't even know they've snapped. It's not like Americans who take out 8 or 9 people with a high-powered rifle because they're social animals. Brits snap and you go, 2 hours later thinking, I think that guy snapped while I was talking to him. At that point where he crushed the pint glass with his hand, he was a bit pissed off. That's why when it comes to a war on terror, something we invented, the war on terror, because Brits would never have a war on terrify, because what's not terrifying to Brits? Everything. They just don't show it, right? Brit, you've had giants plucking your daughters out of villages a couple thousand years ago. Look that one up, history boy. It's true. So the basic British reaction to anything terrifying is this. How much is this going to cost? You can't really terrify. That's why I'm pretty sure the war, the whole terrorism thing, I think the terrorists have just kind of given up on Britain, because what can they possibly do, right? Listen, I would never compare the scopes of tragedy of, say, the World Trade Center to the bombs that blew up in London, but the reaction is completely different, right? America still has this entire culture of fear about terrorism. It's basically manifests itself by terror alerts being scrolled across the bottom of the TV screen by color. No explanation whatsoever. Just today's terror alert is orange. Now back to our show. What the hell was that? What does that mean? Orange, that's hunting accidents, roadworks, right? That's not good. It means be very, very aware of terror. So dwell on it now and then. Whereas in Britain, they blow up the buses in London. Next day, people are back at the bus stop waiting for the bus, right? And complaining about it because they're Brits. Bus is late. I mean, it's late. The one yesterday blew up. Yeah, well, that was yesterday. Today's today. I live in the present and the bus is late. That's why when you watch a Brit snap, right, you got to get really close to them. They'll pick a high street and just corkscrew for a while. That's... Not even knowing what direction to... What direction is corkscrew anyway? This is bullshit. And then you get too close and then you get sucked into the vortex, right? Are you okay? That moment when a Brit truly snaps, and it looks like this. I'm going to write a letter. That's it. I've been pushed to the brink, you bastard. Nobody treats me like this, you son of a bitch. Huh? I'm not emailing this, I'm writing this. Wait till you get that tomorrow. Big red pillar box right in the mail. Postal strike.
The most sexually adventurous thing I ever did, I did it when I was single. When I was single, I ordered the #1 vibrator on the Love Honey website. And the Love Honey website is a sex toy website, for those of you pretending not to know. I kind of ordered it out of spite, right? Because one of my exes called me a prude, which I think is such an extreme thing to call someone. I don't think I did anything to warrant that. The only thing I can think of maybe is once I said that I don't like morning sex. That's not a big deal. That doesn't mean that I'm not sex positive. I just don't think you should do something that disgusting in the morning. Not whilst the blackbird is singing his morning tune. But I went on the website, it was late at night, I just ordered the first one on the list because I thought that would be good, that would probably be quite nice. The thing that arrived is so terrifying. It plugs directly into the wall. It has one of those on the end of it. It uses mains electricity. It needs to be pat tested. I just find that so threatening, because I think what that's basically saying is, what I'm about to do to you couldn't possibly be done with a battery. I'm gonna need that same stuff that powers your fridge. It's huge, it's bigger than this. It looks like a piece of farming equipment from the Industrial Revolution. But it's called a wand. There is nothing magical about it. I've never seen this type of vibrator before. All the vibrators that I've seen advertised online are very small and portable, and they're not making big claims. They're just happy to live in your bedside drawer, and they'll be there like, okay, girl, I'm here if you need me. Like, if you and your partner get like super, super drunk one night, maybe you could experiment with me for a little bit. Honestly, I might not do anything, but I might speed things along for you a little bit. Either way, no worries if not. Whereas my vibrator is just next to the bed like, do you want to meet God? Not really. It doesn't even fit in the bedside drawer. It's just curled up on the floor like a python. And after it arrived, I was like, is this the right thing? Because I checked on the website, because I thought maybe it got mixed up with like an order meant for Guantanamo Bay. It was the right thing. Not only that, I read the description for the first time. It said in the description, this is the world's most powerful vibrator. I don't think I need that. I need absolute max, a whisper on the wind. The world's most powerful vibrator. You shouldn't be able to buy that without a license. Underneath as well, it said, the vibrator will turn off automatically after 20 minutes for your safety. 21 minutes and there's a danger of death. I don't even want to share. It cost £90. So I felt like I had to try it because I spent so much money. And I don't even have a plug next to my bed. I had to get the extension cable. That felt desperate. I turned it on onto the lowest setting. It had 8 settings. I turned it onto setting 1. It was so loud. I was like, there's nothing private about this experience. The neighbours are going to think I'm having a new kitchen put in. At midnight, they're going to call the council. Well, no, they're not calling anyone. They don't have any power right now. I tried it just for like 1, maybe 2 seconds, and I was like, I can smell burning. I can't use this thing. It's going to sand me down. It's going to erode. I'm going to be flat over. There'll be nothing left like Barbie. But it had 8 settings. I thought, I have to see what setting 8 does. Not on myself. I know my limits. I just turned it up to setting 8 in the sky. Fuck me. I was like, I'm going to rip a hole in the space-time continuum.
I'm a romantic. That's my problem. I love romance. Oh, I want to be in a relationship. I want to try edible pants. You can't edible solo, they don't let you. I'm absolutely fascinated by them. Here's why. It must be someone's job to keep edible pants from being too delicious. Because they've got to be okay in context, but there's a team of scientists that's working day in, day out to make sure that none of us start craving them. Struggle being single. I'm a pick-me girl. Do you guys know what that is? A pick-me girl is a type of woman who's like me. I'm not like the other girls. Why? Because I like live music. Shackle me. I do like live music. Like, sometimes I wonder if anyone's gone to see the band Placebo thinking it was The Cure. So I do think about that stuff. Love live music. I went to see ABBA Voyage. Have you guys seen it? ABBA Voyage, if you haven't seen it, it's incredible. It's ABBA. They've got holograms now. But just before going into ABBA Voyage, I found out a little bit of industry gossip, and I'm going to share it with you because I was pissed off. ABBA, the band, they're not even dead. And they've got holograms, is it? You can't have holograms if you're alive. Hey, ABBA, go to work. ABBA Voyage, it's amazing. From start to finish, it's them at their best. They were 28 years old when they recorded it. Start to finish, them at their best. A bit like this. So, ABBA Voyage, at the end of ABBA Voyage, sometimes the real ABBA, they come out. But the problem is that at this point in your life, you've only known them as hot 28-year-olds. So when 76-year-old ABBA comes out, it doesn't look good. It doesn't look like them. It looks like their parents have come to pick them up. I am a pick-me girl. I lie about my interests constantly, I do. My new thing now is I pretend to like football. Now, I want to like football. I really do. I really respect it as a sport. My problem is too much of it has happened. And no one will let me catch up. Like, everyone needs to stop playing for like 5 years, and then I'll start casual, season 1, episode 1. Now, the real reason I'm trying to get into football is because, basically, I met this guy. Thank you. And, oh my God. So he told me that he could have Do you guys know him? That's weird. He does have a lot of friends. He said he could have gone professional. But then, and this is so sad, just before the trials, he didn't have the skills. He didn't have the skills, the work ethic, all the natural talent. So close.
You do a thing in the UK called pre-drinks. Pre-drinks, all right? Some people call it prinks because they don't even have time to pronounce the whole word before they get on it, all right? Pre-drinks. I had no idea what it was. I had to ask my friend. I was like, Di, what the hell are pre-drinks? He said, Ignacio, it's great. We drink at home before we go out to go drinking. I said, that is the stupidest shit I've ever heard in my life. I said, why would you do this? He said, you know, just to warm up to get ready to go drinking. I said, that doesn't make any sense, all right? You don't do it for anything else, do you? You don't go, we're going to go to the cinema, pop a fucking DVD in before we go to the cinema. Just fire up the old Netflix and do shots of popcorn. Is it made before we go down to the cinema? Craziness. Everything revolves around booze, okay? People in this country start drinking around about 13, 14 years of age. Does that feel about right? 13, 14. Some of you, depending on where you're from, younger, some of you older, all right? I get that. But I came over, I visited as a teenager, and I found out the way it works, all right? I was trying to fit in, and they were like, right, what we're gonna do, we're gonna go down drinking in the park, all right? We're gonna go drinking in the park as teenagers, all right? I was like, right, they go, right, we're gonna steal booze from our parents, and we're gonna go down the park, all right? I was like, okay, no problem. So I showed up to the park, all right, feeling like Jason Bourne or something in my backpack, and I think, pull out the stuff, all right, what's in there? They were like, what the hell is Rioja? Like, it's Rioja. Does anyone have a corkscrew, actually? Because otherwise we're gonna be for a while. The thing is, like, kids do that, and if they can't steal the booze from their parents, what they do is they'll stand by an off license, all right? And they will wait for somebody to walk past who looks just dodgy enough, but not too dodgy, so they can offer them money and go, hey, can you go in the shop for me and pick me up some beer, some vodka, whatever, we can go down drink in the park, and that person will go get the cash, and then you go there, you get shit-faced as teenagers, it bonds you, okay? It brings you together. At least that was my experience, okay, back in the day. But times have changed, all right? I went to back where my mother's from, okay? My mother's from a little town in Wales called Pontardawe, all right? Don't know if anyone's heard of it. Tiny little town, Pontardawe. Pontardawe is a Welsh word, all right? Pont means bridge, and Dawe means over a shithole, okay? It's not a delightful place to move to from Mallorca, is what I'm trying to say. Right? My mother hates that joke. She's like, Ignacio, please stop saying that. They've taken all of the trolleys out of the canal, all right? Can we... But I was visiting and I was walking to see my mother and I passed an off license, okay? And there's this kid stood by the off license as I'm passing, all right? And he clocks me and I've got my guitar on my shoulder, so he's thinking, this guy's got no prospects. So he comes over to me with his cash, all right? And he was like, hey, could you maybe go in the shop? I'm like, I know where this is going. He goes, can you pop in the shop? I'm like, right. He goes, if I give you this money? I'm like, yep. And he goes, and get me some? I was like, I know where we're going. He goes, vape. I was like, what? He goes, vape. I said, seriously, vape? He said, yeah. I said, what flavor? He said, cherry. I was like, of course, cherry vape. All right, rock and roll. I go in the shop. I'm laughing to myself. I can't believe these kids asked me for cherry vape. How times have changed, all right? I go up to the counter. The guy behind the counter must have thought I was insane, all right? I'm laughing the whole way through the shop. I grab the stuff, pay for it, put it in the bag. I walk out. I'm laughing on the way out. I give the kid the bag. I go, there you go, pal. 20 Marlboro Red and a bottle of vodka. Grow up, you little shit. What is this? Vape nonsense.
Don't you think it's crazy that, do you understand the technology for us to hear the pilot? I am actually utilizing it right now. This is the technology for us to hear the pilot. I don't know why we cannot hear. There's no other context where it's acceptable for us not to hear a person. Why are you muffling? If you were looking for an au pair for your kids and a person came over to your house and said, hey man, what's your experience with kids? And then they looked at you and went, ta-da. Like, you need to get out of my house, son. Weird things happen in airplanes. Weird things, like crazy things, bizarre things. Like, how bizarre would it be right now if someone walked in here and started selling us watches and perfume? Would that be the most bizarre thing? But it happens all the time in airplanes. No one's ever gone, huh, this is crazy. This is that English polite thing. Oh, I've already got one, yeah. I'm not looking at the moment, yeah. Not every airline should be selling watches, though. Like Ryanair, no business selling watches. You need to watch Ryanair, your flight's 7 hours late. And also, why am I buying a 400-pound watch on an 11-pound flight? This makes no sense. Yeah, being in London is cool. I like being in London. One of my favorite things to be in London, there's so much to do. I try to buy a ticket online to watch Wimbledon. Yeah, man. The Wimbledon final, I was like, I'm excited. Went online. It was 3,000 pounds. I was like, what? 3,000 pounds. Okay, I'm not saying I wouldn't pay 3,000 pounds, right? I'm not saying I won't pay 3,000 pounds for a Champions League finals ticket. But I'm not paying 3,000 pounds for a sport where someone is going to tell me, quiet, please. Are you out of your mind? For 3,000 pounds, there will be no quiet, please. For 3,000 pounds, I'm rubbing my nipples center court. Are you out of your mind? My brother, 3,000. 3,000. Oh, it's a lot of money. 3,000. My brother, 3,000 pounds. For 3,000 pounds, I should be able to whisper some advice in Roger Federer's ear. 3,000. 3,000. I should be able to walk into the court. Sorry, Roger. Come on, forearm. Let's work on that. Come on. My brother, around 3,000. For 3,000, I should be able to punch a ball boy in the face. For 3,000. Could be walking across, picking up a ball up. Uppercut him in the nose. He'll be so confused. What was that for? I'm like, no, it's part of the package. If you look carefully, I can kick you in the balls.
But here's the thing about being married a very long time. You get to know each other so well, right? I mean, my husband knows me well. I know my husband so well at this point that we can have a full-blown argument from start to finish, and he's not even home. You know? So, this year, I have been married 21 years. Thank you. Thank you. I know it looks like I could have been a child bride, which, where I'm from, totally possible. Anyway, but I wasn't a child bride. Anyway, so 21 years. And here's what I've learned in 21 years. That to stay married and stay happy, because it's not naturally the same thing, to stay married and stay happy, what you must do is keep your focus on what is important. Keep your focus on what is important. Let everything else fall away. See, I'll explain. The other day, my husband and I were having an argument, a face-to-face one, the one where he's actually at home. So we're having an argument, and, I say argument. The fact is, after 21 years, my husband and I don't really have arguments. We have throwdowns. You know, throwdown, like MMA level. Do you know what MMA is, sir? Yeah, marriage martial arts. Proper MMA, no matter what the topic, my husband and I both always bring it for everything. Because we know that after 21 years and 3 kids, nobody's fucking going anywhere. Right? We are just trying to get to the end of this somehow. And also, you should know, like I told you, when I arrived here, I got a UK passport. My husband is Scandinavian. He didn't bother. And then we were having this argument, and he was like, I don't understand why you didn't do it this way. And I said, really, what I don't understand is why you don't fuck off back where you came from. Apollo, I cannot lie to you, it felt pretty good. Oh my God, what a great phrase. I am totally on board with it now. Knock yourselves out. Such a good feeling it gives you afterwards, you know? The problem was it bothered our children a little bit because we were having lunch, it was Sunday. Our youngest child, she said, oh no, Mama said the F word. And I said, oh darling, you're right, I did. But you know what? When you grow up and meet the man of your dreams, so will you. And then my teenage son said something, but let me explain, ladies and gentlemen. Between 45 to 85% of what this child says, I don't understand. Because he's a teenager. He just looked at me and said, why so salty, bro? And then our middle child, apart from being somewhat fractured, she's also very woke. By which I mean she doesn't understand the difference between racism and a joke about racism. So she got very upset and she said, you can't say that to Dad, that's racist. I said, racist? Look at my face. I can't be racist. Everybody knows only white people are racist. Oh, she got angry. She stomped out of the room. And I was like, oh, come on, darling. Sorry, it was a joke. I know, you're half white. Oops.
There's other younger people in the room, right? You know what I mean. You have only ever known a time in your life when you're trying not to get pregnant or trying not to get somebody else pregnant. And I don't want to blow my own trumpet, but on both accounts, I fucking smashed it. I think it comes down to skill set at the end of the day, doesn't it? People are just good at different things. Some people are good at the violin, some people are good at parallel parking. I was very good at taking the pill. Every day, every day, every day. Honestly, I used to think I was so good at taking the pill, I deserved a reward. Arguably, there was a reward. It was the reward of not having to watch Peppa Pig or cleaning up another human's shit. Tell you what I don't understand, right, is women who are on the pill and forget to take it. Don't get that. Because don't get me wrong, I forget things. I forget my keys, my wallet, the fact I'm married. Sure! But forgetting to take something that can prevent you from creating a human that could one day say, turn the machines off, is what she would have wanted. I'm going to remember that one, thank you. Obviously does happen, though. Women forget to take the pill, they get knocked up. Happened to a girl I used to work with, actually, when I used to work in an office, right? And we were chatting about it one day. She was so blasé. We're in the kitchen. She's just standing there rubbing her belly like, well, the thing is, I've just got really bad memory. I was thinking, that's funny, because every day without fail, you remember to steal my milk. Maybe if you'd strapped your packet of microgynon to my semi-skimmed... Stephen in accounts wouldn't be telling everyone how you trapped him. I think the reason I was always very good at remembering to take the pill, because I've been on it for so long. I was on it since I was about 16. And the reason I started taking it was because I was going out with my first boyfriend, Kevin Sutherland. A boom, chicka, wow, wow. He was quite the catch. He had a Peugeot 106 and a tattoo of Bart Simpson, which I thought showed a great joie de vivre. And things were going very well between Kevin and I. We had matching bracelets from Argos, so you can tell how serious we were. And we'd agreed that we were going to do it for the first time, right? So I was like, right, I put myself on the pill because my first time is going to be really special. My first time is going to be just like in the movies. So the big day arrived, and Kevin, bless him, he made such an effort for everything to be really perfect. Like, he paid his little brother to leave the room. To this day, the most romantic thing a man has ever done for me. And he made a mix CD of all of our favourite romantic songs. You know, like Boom, 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 Let Me Hear You Say Wayo. And as we lay down on his single bed, with his Liverpool FC duvet cover on it, the scent of Lynx Africa heavy in the air. And as Kevin took my virginity so beautifully and gently and quickly from behind, I remember thinking, wow, just like in the movies. Obviously, it's quite difficult to make eye contact in that position, isn't it? Almost felt like I lost my virginity to Stephen Gerrard. I'll never walk alone. I never will.
It's lovely to be here. I've come all the way from Brydon. Just in case you're wondering what this haircut is about. Might be a new face for some of you people. Don't panic. The BBC invited me here because they needed a beige lesbian. So I'm just here to tick some boxes. Not your box, madam. Just a metaphorical box. I'm half Spanish, that's what's happening there. I've got a Spanish mum, and she lives here in the UK. It's all very legal. She's lived longer in the UK than she's ever lived in Spain, but the brilliant thing about my mum is that she's never lost her accent. She's doing very, very good. Lost words she cannot pronounce. Lost words she cannot pronounce, huh? My favourite word that my mum's never been able to pronounce is my brother's name. It's not even a difficult name, his name's Stephen. I don't know if you've noticed this, Spanish people, any word that begins with the letter S, they struggle, right? So my mum doesn't call him Stephen, she calls him Steven. What's his name, Mum? Steven. Is it? Isn't it just Stephen? Jennifer, I know his name is my son. It is Steven! You don't want to mess with my mum. She's not like British people here in this country. We can be quite passive-aggressive, can't we? She's just very aggressive woman. I don't know how my mum's never really coped in this country, and I think it's because, like a lot of Mediterranean people, she's quite loud, yeah? She's got one volume. It's like this. Whereas in this country, particularly if we're middle class, we tend to be low talkers, don't we? We don't like to raise our voices, do we? Why? Because we've got money. And we just assume that if you are raising your voice, well, you're probably poor. Or worse, foreign. Great thing about having a Mediterranean mum is they feed you. Oh, my God. She's always feeding. That's her way of showing that she loves her children, is to feed us. You know, I can remember going around friends' houses, you know, like English mums. Go around an English mum's house and the conversation with mum's more like this. I think you've had enough. My mum will feed you till you puke. Going on in my life, and my mum will relate it back to a meal that she's cooked. Do you know what I mean? Like, so good or bad, particularly if I'm depressed. If I phone up my mum and I've had a terrible day, yeah, I phone up my mum, conversation always goes like this. Oh, Jennifer, my God, I'm so sorry to hear that you're having a hard time right now, but you know what? Don't worry, okay? I made a soup. Come home, you sound hungry. I made a chicken curry, I made a lamb tagine, I made a casserole, Jennifer, I made some tortillas, some paella, some curry, Jennifer, you love curry, maybe some meatballs, some pork ball, beef ball, aniseed ball, banana ball. You're a lesbian, you don't eat enough balls. Please, come home. Eat my balls.
We have a great show for you tonight. We have a fantastic show. Very funny comedians. I know funny. Very funny. People always ask me who I think is funny. That's the number 2 question I get asked as a comedian. The number 1 question I get asked as a comedian is, have you ever died? As soon as you tell someone you're a comedian, first thing they want to know, oh, you ever died? Oh, what's it like when no one laughs? Oh, tell us about the worst gig you've ever had in your life. Please, relive for me, in minute detail, the worst moment of your professional career. Have you ever really died? It's like saying to a doctor, tell us about the last patient you lost. What happened? With the family crying. I bet they were they? Yeah. People are such ghouls. It's the number 1 question. Have you ever died? Number 2 question, though, is what makes you laugh? People always want to know that from me. Who do you think is funny? And that's a nicer question. That's more understandable. You know, I make people laugh. People want to know what makes me laugh. In the same ways you might say to your hairdresser, who cuts your hair? Or you might say to someone in an Audi, who do you think drives like a cock? I like that joke. It's a short joke, it's a sharp joke, and also with that joke, I get to spot every Audi driver in the room. I can just see it there. Pinched expression on your face there. All right, no need to be like that about it. I've done well for myself. It's a very reliable machine. And the fact that I can tell you're an Audi driver by the expression on your face means technically you've just given a form of indication. So well done. Good for you. You knew you could do it. Yeah. Have you ever died? Who do you think is funny? You always get asked the same questions. That's why I don't like doing interviews. I love doing this job. This is great. I love standing here talking to you, though. But doing interviews, it's a necessary evil. It's part of the job. I having to answer questions. And I don't even like watching interviews. You'd rather watch a comedian tell jokes than talk about how they wrote them. You'd rather watch a singer sing songs than talk about their inspiration. You'd rather watch a sports person do their sport. You'd certainly rather watch a sports person do their sport. Come on now. Sports interviews can be turgid affairs at best. And then I hit it with my foot. You mean you kicked it? If you like. They're really interesting. And I'm not slacking sports people. It takes a great deal of single-mindedness to excel at a sport to a point where people want to interview you about it. But sports people are famous because they're good at sport, not because they're good at talking about sport. That's why you find a sports person who is good at talking about sport, the BBC will cream their knickers over them. We found a woman. She used to ride horses. That's a sport. And she's quite lively and engaging and charismatic. Put her on absolutely everything! Do not let her out of your sight. Even people I'm a fan of. Andy Murray. I love Andy Murray. Britain should be very proud of Andy Murray. He's done a lot to be proud of. He's won Wimbledon. He's Olympic gold medalist. And he put up with a lot of shit when he was doing, what, 8th best in the world? Oh, you bloody loser, you. He's done a lot to be proud of. He's won Wimbledon. He's Olympic gold medalist. He's magnanimous in victory. He's humble in defeat. And he's a big comedy fan. He's been to see me live. I've met him. Lovely bloke. But Jesus Christ. I cannot listen to him drone on one more time about how he won, stroke lost another tennis match. I can't do it. Well, then I hit it to him, and he hit it back to me, and I'm very good at tennis, but he is also very good at tennis. Some days I'm better at tennis than he is, but I think what's happened today was he was slightly better at tennis than I am, and that's maybe why he won the game of the... Oh, for God's sake, man! I'm not very sporty, you can probably tell. I like hill walking. Doesn't really count as a sport. I like hill walking and camping. Proper camping, though. None of your glamping bullshit. Glamping. Derivation of the words glamorous and camping. Where you stay in a yurt, which is more expensive than a hotel. What is wrong with you? A lot of people don't realise yurt is a derivation of the words yura and twat. A lot of people don't realise that.
I've made a list of pros and cons. Because I've been spending a lot of time in brothels and prisons. Made a list of pros and cons, always good, give you a bit of balance, Con, complete loss of all feelings of hope and possibility. It doesn't sound very good, does it? It doesn't sound much fun, does it? Pro, increased plug socket access. Bang, 1-1. I say increased, it's actually total plug socket access. I've got 32 plug sockets in my house. Each and every one of them is now under my sole domain. Con, all experiences that formed the basis of my happiness and sense of self-worth are now destroyed by grief. Downer! A bit of a downer, isn't it? Pro, less recycling. I can fit it all in the green box now. It's remarkable when you take into account just how much I'm drinking. John, you're meant to heat mulled wine. All right, Your Highness, hand me the bottle and leave. Con, I'm gonna lose me house. Bit of fun. Pro, 25% off council tax. I was on that like a ferret. Dialing as the door slammed. And that's us fresh out of cons. The rest are just pros, guys. Increased freezer space, all 4 drawers. Cheaper gas and electric. Reduced wear and tear on fixtures and fittings. And when I say reduced, I don't mean by half, because I was only ever responsible for about 10% of scuffs and spills. So we're looking at a net reduction of 90% in real terms. This is my favourite one. Ultimate control over where the iPhone charger cable is and why it is there. There was a time it would take hours to answer the questions, where is the iPhone charger cable and why is it there? Not anymore. Plugged in next to the bed, most convenient place to have it. Simple. Is it unplugged in the bathroom? No, it's not. It'd be a ludicrous place to keep it. There's no plug socket in the bathroom. Is it in the front pocket of a rucksack you no longer use? That'll be the last place you look. That'll be very frustrating. Is it plugged in on a train we have alighted from? No. It's plugged in next to the bed because that's the most convenient place to have it.
This year, I did no lilt February. Thank you. I know, it sounds is impossible, but you take it one day at a time. Did I have any today? No, you're a legend. Gets hard around the middle of the month, you get the cravings. It's called lilt guilt. You're like, oh, I bloody love the lilt. It's the night where you go to the shop at midnight, you kick the doors in, where's the lilt? And they're like, we don't stock it anymore. Like, ah! So you try and make your own hooch lilt, you know, you get a pineapple and a grapefruit, and you add in batteries and a horse's head, and you're like, it's good, but it's not totally tropical. Did that joke in America recently. Turns out they don't have lilt there. So, this is it. This is all I do. Imagine if this was your actual... I go like blah, 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 and you go, ah, ha, 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 money. I can't believe I get away with it. You do actual, proper London jobs. You know, like blacksmith, you know? Farrier. Brunch DJ. The big three. I tell you, I do not trust. People who work in offices, I know, right? What are they doing? Nothing takes that long. They're planning something. They must be. Do you know? Do you ever call in to visit your friend in an office unexpectedly? Everyone just shits themselves. They're like, what's he doing here? Cover the screen, lie across the spreadsheet, get him out. Kind regards, warm regards, best. That's how they talk. I've seen the email. Hey. I know what it's like in the real world. Look, sometimes I check in your world. Oh, gross, back to showbiz. And... No, I'm very self-aware of the level of fame that I have. I was in a supermarket recently, and an older lady came up to me, and she put her hands on my shoulders, and she said, you are vaguely familiar. And that is it. I did a gig in Wrexham, and I was at an ATM machine, and a guy cycled by, and he shouted at me, surprised to see you at an ATM machine. And I've been obsessed with it since then. What did he mean? Like, on the one hand, is he surprised I don't have a butler to go to the ATM machine for? No, I think it's the opposite. I think I'm surprised you have any money whatsoever doing this keyboard horse shit. Here's my greatest ever showbiz tale. I did a gig in your Milton Keynes recently, thank you, and I was staying in the Milton Keynes Hilton, and she is the least well-known of all the Hilton sisters. And I checked in after the gig at like 12:30. Room 303 is where this took place. Open the door, TV on in the room. Not that uncommon in the chain hotels. I guess it's to welcome you. But get this, on the TV is me playing the shitty keyboard on some show. Immediate thought is like, is this a service they provide to all guests? If so, no, it's the realization, this is it. I've arrived, and I waltz into the room, down the little corridor with the loo away to the left, and as the room opens out, there is a fully naked man lying on the bed. So they've given me the key to someone else's room, but he is lying there, watching me on the TV, and he looks up. To think of something smart. What I say is like, oh shit, sorry about it. I could have said anything and I'd be a legend. I could have been like, oh, you enjoying this? Ah, no boner. And just walked out of it.
I have realised that the musician I want to be is the drummer from Coldplay. I want to be the drummer from Coldplay so badly because that dude is rich as shit and no one knows who the fuck he is. No one knows who the drummer from Coldplay is. He could be here and no one would know. It could be you, it could be you, it could be you. I'm not sure it's an Indian woman, but it could be. We don't know. I'm obsessed with the idea that this guy has the best life in the world. And I was telling my friend about this, and she tried to tell me something that she was trying to portray as a bad thing. Apparently, he loves Game of Thrones, so he said to HBO, can I be in Game of Thrones? And they were like, yeah, man, you're the drummer from Coldplay. You can do literally anything you want. We'll restart The Sopranos if that's something that will make you happy, right? Now, he's in Game of Thrones. Confession time, I don't watch Game of Thrones, but even I know the Red Wedding is an important episode of Game of Thrones, right? He is in the Red Wedding. Guess what he is doing in the Red Wedding? He is the drummer in the wedding band. That is the extent to which this guy's anonymity is a borderline superpower. He is in the most famous episode of one of the most popular television shows in the world, doing the thing he is famous for, and no one noticed. That is Kaiser Soze shit. And my friend was telling me that she read a supposedly embarrassing story that one of the actors told. One of the actors said that when they were shooting The Red Wedding, he was making small talk with the extras, and he got round to the drummer from Coldplay and said, "Are you a full-time extra?" And the guy was like, "No, I'm a musician." So he said, to the drummer from Coldplay, "Have you played on anything I might have heard of?" To which the drummer from Coldplay was presumably like, have you heard of All Music? Because I'm basically the drummer on All Music. And my friend tried to tell me this, like this was a sad thing. She was like, "Oh, this guy's in Coldplay, but no one knows that he's in Coldplay. Isn't that sad?" No, because the problem with being in Coldplay is that people hate Coldplay. People hate Coldplay so much. And the people who hate Coldplay don't say things like, "Oh, it's not to my taste." They say things like this: "I hate Coldplay!" But what you mean when you say that is, "I hate Chris Martin." No one is angry with the drummer from Coldplay. No one has ever been like, "Oh, the drummer from Coldplay! He ruined my life!" And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, "Nish, why are you so obsessed with the drummer from Coldplay? There's 2 other people in that band. We don't know anything about them either." And you know what? You're right. There's a guitar player and a bassist in Coldplay. I wouldn't know them even if they were here. I assume it's you two, but only because he sat next to her and I spoke to her already. That's all I've got to go on at this point. They have the exact same life as the drummer, because I did a bit of research into this. Turns out Coldplay are one of those bands where they split the royalties equally. So they have the exact same life as the drummer, apart from one detail. They have the exact same life as the drummer. They have the same level of wealth, access, and anonymity. But crucially, the drummer is sat down. And that is the dream.
Do you love London? I love London. I feel like London is created by the people, right? Who are just crazy and sexy and ambitious. I got into an Uber the other day, not bragging, and I got into an Uber and the driver, he said, "Would you like to have the radio on?" And I was like, "Oh, I don't mind, it's up to you." And then he said, "Well, actually, I make my own music. Do you mind if I put some of that on?" "No, I don't." And then he put on Drake's new album. I wonder how often it works. I wonder how often there's a middle-aged white woman thinking, "Oh, well, he looks like Aladdin and he sounds like confidence personified. Pull over and jump in the back, Nikolai." I'm having a good life. I have recently started doing yoga, which is just change. Yes, woo for the yoga over there. Are you a team? Come to... I'm new to it. I love it. Yoga has changed my life. It's brilliant. Yoga is my new drug. My old drug was drugs. Which I'm not going to say anything positive about because it would be incredibly irresponsible. I'm not going to say anything positive about drug taking. What I will say is I didn't take MDMA until I was 32, and it was such a relief to know I could be happy. Just to see the equipment's broken. But yoga is nearly as good, and there's no downsides. It's given me a whole new language. My favourite new word is namaste. Yeah, it's a very old word, it's very sacred, and it means the yoga has finished now. And then you're allowed to leave.
I think that the key to being happy as you get older is self-acceptance. Like, I have to accept things about myself now. Like, I'm 36, I thought I would have children by now, and I don't. In an ideal world, what I wanted to self-fertilise. I wanted to have children that were exactly my genetics so that I could show them to my parents and go, see, it was my childhood, they're fine. Science can't do that yet. And then I had a crazy day last month where I just thought, I'm just going to buy some sperm. I'm just going to buy some sperm off the internet. I've got a good job. I'm just going to buy some sperm. Guys, sperm is so much more expensive than I thought it was going to be. It is tens of thousands of pounds. We are all wasting a valuable resource. 17-year-old me would have been a millionaire if I'd learned how to catch it and chuck it in the freezer. So expensive. It's a shock. I do think self-acceptance is the key. Like, there's things about myself I don't like, but I just have to accept now that they're not going to change. This is who I am. Like, so for instance, I don't like art. I think art is rubbish. I think lots of people think art is rubbish, but we're too worried of looking stupid, so we go along with it. I think that the worst art form is theatre. Right, okay, I can sense how unpopular this opinion is. Hear me out. I think theatre is diabolical. Look, I do, look, and also, I'm aware, if you are a performer of some kind, if you're an actor, look, please don't be offended. I don't mean being in the play. Obviously, if you're the person in the play that gets to put a wig on and walk up and down and move your arms and project your voice, saying things like, I think you'll find you're contradicting yourself, Alan. Fun. Having to watch it. Dear Christ. I can't concentrate. I can't lose myself in the story. I know that it's not real because I'm surrounded by people eating crisps. And they don't let you look at your phone. So all you're thinking is, well, how long has it been?
That has done me the world of good. Thank you for that. Because I was waiting back there behind the big billboard, absolutely terrified. I'm not a natural performer. I'm not, although I have been doing this talk around the country for about 2 months now. I won't lie to you, it's not been going very well. I think the worst one was Folkestone. I have never seen an audience turn so quickly. Rushing at the stage, anger in their faces. Refund! Refund! It was horrific. I'll try and paint a picture for you. Youngsters will know what I'm talking about. Are there any youngsters in the... You can relax, sir. Well, there's a youngster. What is your name, sir?
Riyadh.
What's that?
Riyadh.
Riyadh. What?
Riyadh with a Z.
Riyadh with a Z. All right, it's not Sesame Street. Riyadh, how old are you?
18.
18? Shouldn't you be wearing a hooded top? Get out of my shopping centre! Riyadh. Don't laugh at Riyadh, please. You'll know what I mean, Riyadh, when I talk about stage diving. Are you familiar? You won't know what I'm talking about, sir, but this is when a rock star, like a Kurt Cobain or a Duncan from Blue, they run and they leap, and you're right to be afraid, you're right to be afraid. They leap onto the audience, Riyadh. It's terrifying. The audience grab hold of them and manhandle them. Turning them around like that, all over the place. Terrifying. Now, what happened at Folkestone was almost a complete reversal of that. with people just rushing at the stage. It was appalling. But I don't think we're going to have a repeat of that tonight. I don't. Because I'm already getting a lot of warmth from you. I am. To quote the great Darius Danesh, there's a lot of love in the room. There is. And a wide range. We've got Riyadh with a Z. No one can can take that away from you, Riaz. I wouldn't try to. You'd whip out your hooded top and you'd happy slap me into submission. But it's a friendly crowd. We've got a proper... Look, here we go. Right down in the front, there's a chap here wearing a T-shirt with a slogan on it. Unbelievable. A grown man. What is your name, sir?
Chris.
Chris, with a Z? Riaz, you're one up, you're ahead. I'll bet there aren't many other people in the whole building who have a Z in their name, in all honesty. Unless Zebedee's joined us tonight, which I think is unlikely. So you're a Chris.
Yes.
Chris. And what's the idea with the T-shirt, Chris? Is it Rag Week? We're here to talk about relationships. Let's crack straight on with the first slide. Making... Don't laugh at that. That's not meant to be funny, please. Let's not have another Folkestone on our hands, please. Making divorce work. Now, given that it is a rocky ride, an emotional roller coaster, I start off with a joke, ladies and gentlemen, just to loosen us up. Here it is. If you're going to get divorced, you have to be like the man in the toll booth. Why is that, Keith? Well, you have to be willing to accept, this is the joke, change. It's a zinger, it's a zinger. When you divorce, there is sweeping change. Change is right across your life, in every area. One of the first things to change is the locks. You may please don't laugh at that, please. You may come home one day and find that your key no longer fits your wife's lock. Another man's key is fitting your wife's lock. And stop that, stop it. Stop, I'm stamping on that. Riaz, with a Z, please. Stop it. It's not that sort of a show. Well, I mean, it's not a show, is it? It's a talk. But it's not smutty. So you may come home and find that your key no longer fits the lock. Good. Yes, it can. And it can be very difficult to tell why a relationship is going to go wrong. Why is that? Well, I think it's because at the beginning of any relationship, when two people get together, there's always a sense of what? Hammersmith, at the beginning of a relationship, a sense of... Pardon? Worry. No. Anyone else? At the beginning of a relationship, a sense of... Foreboding. Foreboding is the wrong answer. Lust. No. Uncertainty. There's always a sense of uncertainty. A feeling of will they, won't they? And there's no way of... Please, Hammersmith, take it seriously. We're talking about emotions. A sense of will they, won't they? And there's no... Hammersmith, I will walk off the stage, please. There's no way of predicting when a couple get together whether or not the relationship will work. Will it last a long time? No. Not a chance in hell. Will they stick together? No. Will the marriage endure? Yes. Lee and Leslie. Now, Lee and Leslie are a lesson to us all. They've made a marriage work. So why is it then that when they can make a marriage work, so many others can't? Paul Simon said, there are 50 ways to leave your lover. 1. Hammersmith, time out. Please, start to take it seriously. 1. Slip out the back, Jack. 2. Make a new plan, Stan. And 48 others. I'm freaking out. So the head hangs there for about 10, 12 minutes. Finally, the midwife says, it's almost here. it's time. If your wife gives one more push, he'll arrive. So my wife went, yeah. Baby went, I put the TV to mute. And I leapt across the front room. And I caught him. And I was the first person to make contact with our son. It was a little boy out, and he was there in my hands, all warm and new. And it's one of the most overwhelming things you will ever do. And I tell you now, I was in pieces. I was in floods of tears. My wife was crying. The midwife was crying. And your mind just becomes a mush. I mean, to this day, I can't explain why I did, what I did, next. It was so emotional. Maybe it's because I'm Welsh, I don't know. But I went... Well, thank God we hadn't cut the cord. He shot back! It was Junior Bungee. He ended up lying on the floor with all this umbilical cord snaking around the room back to his mother, yards of it. I thought, what the hell do we do now? I needn't have worried. Calm as a cucumber, the midwife walked over to my wife. She put her left foot on my wife's right foot and pressed hard. And just like a Hoover, the cord went... And that's why we called him Henry.